Welcome, everybody, to another Exes Podcast. I'm Scott.
I'm Therese.
And we are the Exes. And as always on our show, we like to talk about things that all exes like to talk about, which is what went wrong with the relationship and how to get away with murder.
Nice.
So that's what we're talking about here. No, truth is that we actually, in case you're new to the program, we've launched this show just to show that exes can still be friends and that you should not throw away good friendships just because a relationship didn't work in one way or another. There's still so much more. Life is too short to deny yourself friendships and people that you care about. So don't do that. Don't throw everything away all the time. It's not always necessary. But we're here to talk about this week. And we've been kind of spotty on the weeks that we've been coming on and stuff. And Teresa's been busy. I've been busy. I got sick for a little while. Then I was out of town. And then there was a lot going on. But the whole time, Teresa and I have been communicating and working on our cases. And we've got ourselves a couple of doozies here. Of course, we're going to be talking about our friends. The Daybell case. We're going to be giving you coverage of what's going on with that. Lori and Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell, are responsible for the deaths of Tammy Daybell, Chad's wife, Charles Vallow, Lori's estranged ex, and the two children, who I can't remember their names at the moment.
JJ and Tylee.
JJ and Tylee, yes. One was 16 or 15? 15.
Like 16.
16, and then how old was JJ?
I believe he was 7.
7. And they did all this in the name of God knows. We're gonna cover that.
God knows today, that's right.
It is really only God knows. That's what Lori will tell you. But we're also going to be talking about this. This is our new case that we're going to be talking about. I put a lot of time into this one. This is Karen Reed, who is accused of killing her boyfriend of 2 years, O'Keefe, who was a Boston police officer. So we're going to be covering both of those today. But first of all, Therese, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's we're back into hit 100 degrees here the other day.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be really hot this weekend, and I have two outdoor gigs this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be in the high 90s. So I might melt. This may be our last show.
Well, I was watching a softball game last night in the rain.
Oh, geez.
But it's good because they won.
Well, was it cold rain too, though?
It wasn't awful. Wasn't awful. I had a sweatshirt on. I was warm enough. I just had to find like a pavilion or something to stand under.
Gotcha. They won, though, you said?
Yes.
Like a good game?
3-1.
3-1. That'll work.
That'll
work. And that is a team that your daughter Jessie coaches.
Yeah, assistant coach. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So congratulations, Jessica. Way to go.
Playoffs start Saturday.
Yes, and if anybody up in the New York area needs photography work done, please reach out to us because Jessica is really going full bore into her photography studio and her portraits and all of that stuff, and she does absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful work. So if you are up in the Syracuse, Rochester, anywhere up in that area, the Central New York, Mid New York area, just reach out to us. We'll hook you up with Jessica. All right?
That's right.
Great things. It's kind of a lost thing that people do family portraits anymore, and I think they need to think about doing that again.
Yeah.
Because cameras are accessible so much, they don't think about getting professional portraits done. But I guarantee, whenever you do, you're always glad you did.
Yeah, they're so nice to have, and she's very reasonable. And now it's all digital. I mean, you get your photos in just a few days. Well, maybe say a week if she's got to edit and stuff, but pretty quickly.
Yeah, but you're able to see what the product's going to be. I mean, it's like there's no mystery. You get to see it and see if you approve of it. But it's great work. And like I said, it's kind of a lost art. People don't really do that anymore. There used to be studios everywhere. Remember when Sears had photo studios? Everybody went there.
Sears, JCPenney.
Kmart actually had them for a while.
Oh, that's right. They used to have that thing like right in the front of the store.
Yeah, but it was Kmart. They couldn't afford cameras. They just had somebody sit there and draw a picture of you in crayon.
Remember the big Olin Mills?
Oh, yes, Olin Mills. They did all the schools or the colleges.
I
Maybe
don't
both.
know.
Maybe
They
both.
did our family because my father bought like a package and you had to have a certain number of sittings every year. So he'd round us up and send us. And he sent me once. He's like, "Oh, we need pictures. Go get your picture taken." Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, Sandy Mom's with us. Hi, kids. Glad your podcast is back. Thanks, Mom.
Hi. You know what I found out today? You
What'd
know
you find
that
out?
you know that old the dingo ate my baby. You know that?
Yeah.
You know that's a true story?
Yeah, I knew that was a true story.
I
You
did
know
not
that?
know. No. And the mom and the dad were both convicted, but then it was overturned because they did find out that actually a dingo did eat her baby.
I can't remember if it was Nicole Kidman or was it somebody like Susan Sarandon or somebody who was in that movie.
Oh, I don't know.
It was called Out of Africa or something like that. It was some movie about it. But I remember that line. Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
Yeah. Well, she was ridiculed for that. And she was convicted. But the dingo
Wow.
really did eat her baby. Now I feel bad. Now I can never say that saying again.
Well, I mean, I think enough time has passed. We're okay. We could say it.
Well, it took them 32 years to figure out that the mother didn't kill the baby.
Oh my God. That's horrible. That is horrible. All right, so let's get into our crimes now.
All right.
Like I said, let's go back and just to get everybody up to speed.
I gotta say, I love that you picked like two of the most horrible pictures of Lori and Chad.
I know. Well, you know what?
That's awesome.
Chad does not smile anymore at all.
No.
And Lori smiles because she thinks she's doing God's work. So she doesn't know. Chad knows the difference. But the two in the middle are Lori and Chad. It's Lori Vallow who married Chad Daybell. He killed his wife. She set up the murder of her estranged husband. They were separated husband, soon to be ex, I believe.
I don't think soon. No, it was just started.
Yeah, it was just starting.
Yeah.
And then they were also charged with the deaths of JJ and Kylie there. And so they killed pretty much the two of these guys got together, killed 4 people. And that's really just the ones we know about at the moment. Lori has already been convicted of the murder of her 2 children and conspiracy to commit murder on her now husband's wife. So he killed Tammy. So she's in jail. She's actually been transferred to Arizona. Is it Arizona?
Yes.
Arizona to face charges where she set up the murder with her brother to kill her husband or her estranged husband. And that was supposed to be self-defense. Turns out it was a big setup. Now she's facing those charges. Death penalty off the table. She's in jail for life. The addition of the Charles Vallow conviction will simply be for it'll add more time to a life sentence, which is funny, but it'll really be for closure.
Yeah.
To wrap that up. But Chad has been waiting for his turn, and now he's being charged with the 3 murders of his wife and the two children.
Correct.
He's not implicated in the Charles thing at all.
Not yet.
Not well. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They might come out of Lori's trial there and say, "Hey, we got something else to do." You know.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, like Lori, because of whatever reasons that she did, I think a lot of it had to do with her playing with this mental health angle where she's not responsible. I think that's how they dealt her down so that she would not get a death penalty.
No, that was really just a technicality why they took that off the table, because she was not waiving her right to a speedy trial, and they came up with that DNA evidence at the 11th hour.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Chad did not, like, he didn't care. He wanted to extend the trial, so they had to separate them. And one condition of separating them is because the prosecution didn't have enough time to really delve into that DNA information. They took death penalty off the table because they really wouldn't have had time to really look at it.
Okay. So no death penalty for her in any of these cases at this point.
Correct.
But he is possibly facing a death sentence. Possibly.
Yes.
We don't know because we're getting to the end of the prosecution, getting ready for the defense case. And usually that's the time when they would make a deal. So we might know in the next couple of days. But just so that we can let people know, she met him through this church, and he was the leader of a church, and she became like his right-hand man. Is that kind of wrap it up a little bit?
Well, no. She apparently she read his books.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. Michelle Ferrante.
Hi, Mish.
Hi, Trey and Scott. I have no idea about true crime. Just stopped in to say hello. Well, this is why you need to listen, because we need to learn about true crime, because you never know when you're going to have to kill somebody. And Nicole Young's with us saying good evening, too. Hi, Nicole. Michelle, that's great. She's listening.
I know, right? So anyway, she apparently read his books.
Okay.
And so she knew of him, but she hadn't met him. And then her friend, Melanie Gibb, knew him, had met him a couple years before. Well, I guess wasn't like super in touch with him, but they all decided to go to this conference where she introduced her to him, and that's how they met. But yes, it's based on their loosely religious beliefs.
All right. Okay. And these two got together, and it was like a match made in hell. People start dying.
Yeah.
And all of these things happened after these two started hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
The death of Charles, the death of Tammy, certainly the death of the two children. Her brother died, and they still haven't found a way to call that murder yet. But it would be the weirdest coincidence in the world if he died just because of something simple like a heart problem or whatever they said it was. Or
I know they said it was natural causes, but he's been cremated. So, I mean, I don't think that anything is going to go further with that, but I'm convinced that they talked him into taking something to cause his own death.
I would bet because you don't have, he was the henchman kind of for all their dirty deeds. I have a feeling his hand was in killing. It certainly was in killing Charles. He said that was something.
Yeah.
He helped bury the kids, and he was the last one seen with the kids, and there's all this stuff. So he probably killed them. And he was in the vicinity when Tammy Daybell died.
Yeah.
So he had his hand in every one of these things. He was like their hitman.
Yeah.
For this godly mafia they had going on here.
And I do think the one honest thing that Zulema may have said on the stand was when she said that Alex did say to her, I think they're making me their fall guy. And I think he felt that. I think it finally dawned on him that they are going to blame all this shit on me. And
so many people fell under the spell of Lori and Chad.
I know.
I guarantee that Alex was probably, you're right. If they told him to drink the poison, he would have said, thank you. Can I have another?
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. So now, like I said, Lori's done for now, and she'll start her trial. But right now, Chad has been in court for 6 weeks or something. Mm-hmm. Prosecution's getting close to closing up their case. What have we seen in these weeks with the prosecution? What are they attacking him on?
A lot of text messages, a lot of phone data with him in the vicinity with Alex, a lot with him and Alex being in the same vicinity. A lot of communication between him, Lori and Alex, Zulema, all of them. And then today they played a jail call from when Lori was in jail to Chad, which took place the evening before they did the search warrant on his property and found the kids.
And what was going on in this conversation?
They were trying to talk all in code. They're talking about plans and blueprints and this and that. But she kept asking him and he said that he texted. So he used Ray, but then the detective explained that Alex used to have this email that it was something about Ray, blah, blah, blah. So they think he's talking about Alex, excuse me, in the phone conversation. But he said he texted Ray and that Ray misses her. And she should write down her questions that she has for him and see if she can get an answer. These people are wackadoodles because the dude was dead. But
oh my, well, they According to her, she conversates with the dead.
Well, according to her and him, yes. But she kept asking him for reassurance about, is this what the plan was meant to be? Is it all going to be okay? So she's asking him to reassure her.
Okay. So this
and
is
it
right
comes
before,
out, my sweet Lori.
so this is right before they find the bodies. And she's saying,
Right.
are we going to be okay? Is the plan in place? Is this worth everything we're doing? That kind of questioning.
Yeah.
And so basically, innocent people don't talk like that.
Right.
Innocent people say, I can't believe this is happening to us. Not, is this what the plan is supposed to be? Are we going to be okay? Is this good?
Right.
Kind
of like, why am I here? Get me out of here. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that brings us around to another damning piece of evidence against Chad. Now, the phone thing is almost enough. Every time something bad was happening, they were pinging his phone near that area. Or not every time, but a lot of the times that something was going on. And, of course, Alex's phone and Lori's phone. And can they just ping anybody's phone anytime, anywhere?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they go back and they say, 3 months ago on a Tuesday, you were near the Applebee's.
Yeah.
They could do that to anybody?
Pretty much. Well, I guess Chad doesn't have as much of his locations because at some points he had his location turned off. Alex had his location GPS on all the time. They knew exactly where he was. They knew when he went to Del Taco to get food. They knew when he went from Lori's apartment to his apartment, back and forth, back and forth.
Welcome to 1984, George Orwell. Big Brother is watching, people. You
Big
think
Brother
you're all cool because you got the iPhone 15. Well, they can tell when you have a bowel movement now through your phone. So just turn your location shit off. I mean, my God, I don't even know where to find it to turn it off, Teresa.
I do.
Oh, that's not comforting.
I'll show you where.
I'll show you where, right before I kill you, and they won't know because I got my location up.
That's right.
That's great. But one of the things that the big things was the conversation he was having with his daughter the day that they found the bodies and were digging up the bodies. Mm-hmm. Now, somebody who's innocent is now sitting in the back of a police car talking to his daughter with handcuffs on. Somebody who's innocent says, I don't know what's going on here. We're going to straighten it out. Meet me at the police station. That's not the conversation he had.
No.
And they hadn't even been sure they had found the bodies at that point. They found something, and they were digging them up at that point.
Well, I think that they were aware they found JJ. Yes.
Right.
They definitely knew that JJ was a human body. Yes.
Well, they knew it was a body, and they assumed it was JJ. So they put him under arrest for, because it's probable.
They actually didn't put him under arrest right then. They just detained him.
They detained him.
Because he was trying to leave in his car.
Oh, that's right. He was. I mean, that was smart.
Sorry.
If somebody finds a body in your backyard, don't leave.
Oh my gosh.
What you should do is go out back and say, what the fuck is this? Why do I have a body in my yard? Not say, I forgot I have to go pick up a pack of Marlboros and I'll be back later. No. So he's sitting in the police car and he's talking to his daughter and he's saying to her, I'm not coming back. Here's where you pay the bills. Here's where this is. Here's where that is. He's setting her up to take care of the house.
Yeah.
Innocent people don't do that.
Move into the house. He told her to move into the house. He told her to take his mattress. Yeah.
Oh, my God. So, I mean, I'm not sure. Why do you think they're even going through with this case? There's so much evidence. Some circumstantial, some very tangible evidence. Why? What is your idea about what are they looking to do here?
I think he's such a narcissist that he thinks that he can get off. And if he took a plea deal, that means he would have to plead guilty to at least being involved with the deaths of Tylee, JJ, and his wife. And he has 5 adult children. So do you think he's really going to admit guilt and let them find out that he killed their mother?
They got to know.
I don't know. 4 of his kids are supposed to testify for the defense.
For the defense. So you believe these kids are saying he didn't do it?
I think that I think most of them are still under the delusion that they're supporting their father. Yeah.
And that daughter is, I love you, Dad. This is while the bodies are being dug up in the backyard. Her mother had already died, and she was exhumed, and they were examining her body, and the daughter knew it was suspicious, and she's still sitting there saying, "I love you, Daddy. It's okay, Daddy." Mm-hmm. Really?
I mean, know.
Oh my God, that kind of blind loyalty from your kids, it's crazy.
That's crazy. You know? It would be nice, right? I don't think I get that from my kids.
No.
And they'd be like, "What the heck is going on? What'd you do?"
Mine would be like, "Well, which guitars are the best ones to pawn, Dad?" Which, well, if you go to jail and you die, your artwork's going to be much more popular. So I'm going to hold on to it for a while.
There you go. You could make a lot of money like that clown killer there.
Oh, the clown killer.
What's his name? BTK?
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. If he was a guy who killed clowns, nobody would have a problem with it. But he was a clown who killed guys. And that was a problem. The clown killer. I love that.
The clown killer guy.
And then he painted pictures of clowns, and they were horrible.
Yes, they were horrible.
They were horrible. It looked like some kid would have wrote on the booth at McDonald's with crayons.
I know what people bought them.
I know.
Okay.
You don't have to be great to be famous anymore. You just have to be known to be famous. And
apparently, you got to be a little sicko too.
Oh my God. Well, look. What's her name got married while she was in jail? Gypsy Rose Lee or whatever her name is.
Yeah, she's getting a divorce already.
Yeah, she is. She's the one who killed her mother. It's almost like the whole family is delusional. Well, this whole community that the Daybells ran in is delusional. The whole community. And even the ones who what? Community
meaning?
With this whole group of people that
their little group, yeah.
Yeah, their community, their little group.
Not like LDS in general.
No.
Please, we don't need any death threats happening here.
So sorry, LDS. Well, this wasn't. They weren't following the practices of LDS. They were a sect. They were their own faction that they followed. They followed some of the precepts or a lot of them, but they really followed Chad's delusion more than the other stuff.
Yeah, they really twisted it to fit their needs, what they wanted it to mean, right? So they can ease their conscience, maybe. I don't know why.
I get how this all works. My uncle Jim Jones, he taught me all about it. Yeah, that's why I love Kool-Aid. Anyway. So what else? So you're thinking they're going to be wrapping up today or tomorrow or the next day, right? Is that what you're saying?
The prosecution said they didn't have enough time today because they only had a half an hour left, but they said they have one more witness and then they're going to be done. They're anticipating that this is their last witness.
We don't have any clue who this witness is, do we?
No, I can't find anywhere where anyone had, like, all of the big players have already been on the stand. One of the detectives, it was his second time on the stand today. So I don't know. Nobody really has any clue who it might be. They can't figure it out.
Wow. Well, like we were talking before we went on air, and, you don't like to end on a low note, or you don't like to end on something that leaves any doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
They love to leave on a slam dunk. You leave your best play for last.
Yeah.
So whoever this is, it's got to be really juicy. It's got to be. It would make no sense for it to be a letdown. They're already way ahead on the scorecard. They're killing it. The defense has a huge mountain to climb to even put a dent in any of this stuff. So it's got to be something good. They're not going to put themselves out there for something lame.
Yeah, I hope not.
So now, as soon as that happens and that's done, I would assume they'll wait a day, then start the defense. They might not do it in the middle.
I don't know though, because if it's only one witness, we don't know who it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an expert because they've had all of them. They've had the coroner, they've had the medical examiner, they've had a slew of detectives, special agents that had done all of the GPS and phone call. So I mean, I don't know if it's going to take that long. So if they're done with that at like 10:30 in the morning, what are they going to do for the rest of the day?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, and it's only Thursday. So maybe they'll end early tomorrow, but then are they going to start the defense on a Friday? I mean, I hope they don't take that extra day off because it's, they've ended it early a lot. They've taken full days off. They've taken half days off. Like, come on, people.
Yeah. Well, the judge might have IBS or something. We don't know.
No wonder these trials cost $5,000 or $5 million.
Yeah, 9 to 5. So you should be working 9 to 5, not let's end at 2 today, or let's end it.
Wow, they ended at like 3:00 today.
Well, a lot of times that's got to do with what's coming next, and will they be able to get a complete story before they end? That's really what they do. And if they've got a witness that they're planning to keep on the stand for 4 hours, you don't start that with 1 hour left in the day. They just move that through. But anyway,
right.
We are looking at the end of the prosecution, most likely tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a witness. It's going to be an all-day witness. So most likely it'll end tomorrow, and then we're going to be set up to see when the defense is going to start and what the defense is going to do. One
thing that happened the other day, which was it was heartwarming, but it was sad. It was kind of like bittersweet, but they had one of Tylee's friends just randomly in the middle of a bunch of detectives. They had one of her friends who's 22 now. They were friends when they were 16, best friends. And just talking about the way that, they're like, well, what did you do when you hung out? And, we talked about boy drama and school problems, like so normal. And it just made you remember how young Tylee was and how much she had to look forward to. And this girl was so well-spoken.
Well, that was important, I think. I think that needed to be done because what we hear about Tylee, we hear from the grandparents we hear from whoever the brother of her, like half brother or whatever, Lori's son. We hear stories from people about her being a family member. And then we hear from Lori Lori, she's a zombie and she's evil. And then we hear what we never heard, and we haven't heard really throughout this whole thing, was just that normal every day. She was a kid who went to school and laughed with her friends and who sat in the lunchroom and talked about boys and all the stuff that a young, happy girl would do. And I don't think they drew enough of that. I think sometimes we lose the humanity of the person while we're in these cases. And even, I hate to say it, but even when we talk about it, sometimes we kind of dehumanize them a little bit because we're talking about the case itself. Yeah. But I think it's really good that they did that. Did you think that was impactful?
I thought so, yeah. I saw a lot of comments online, like, what's the point in having this girl up there? And, but I think that was the point, just to bring Tylee back to humanity. Make them see that she was just a normal young girl, innocent.
And that's what you want the jury to think.
Yeah.
You want to get away from the fact that she was a victim of these horrible people and into the fact that she was a young girl that had her life snuffed out by evil people. But she was a young girl. She was a vibrant person. Every picture of her was smiling and giggling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't get pictures of her, and JJ was very much the same way too. Now he had some emotional issues and stuff, a few mental issues that were going on, but they were manageable. They were manageable. He actually had a service animal that was helping him, and then Lori got rid of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, we're preparing to get rid of you. Let's get rid of the dog first. Holy shit.
Well, right? First his father.
Yep.
Then his dog. And then his sister.
You imagine what this kid went through.
That poor little guy probably didn't know what was up.
He probably had no understanding. And then they pulled him out of, once they pulled him out of school, we don't know if he was dead at that point or if they were just preparing or whatever. I mean, the timeline is still a little sketchy. And here's the other thing. They don't know how these kids actually died completely. They don't know the full story.
They do with JJ. Well, they don't know the full story, but they do. I mean, they know the manner of death, but they don't for Tylee. They have nothing. They can figure that out.
They got nothing. And even with JJ, though, they don't know how long he was suffering. They don't know if he was tortured. They don't know what happened. And with people, when you get nutty people like this, it's usually not a very clean, boom, and you're gone. They do crazy shit. This is just a horrible, horrible case. I'm not a huge fan of the death penalty. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a huge fan. But there are cases like this where I say, you know what, go ahead. I mean, I'm not a huge fan because we get things wrong a lot, But this case, this is just horrible. Does it all end after? What?
I'm not a real fan of the death penalty because they have up to appeals. What do they have? Up to 3 appeals.
Oh yeah.
That can take like 30 years. They're sitting in a cell, basically protected. I know that they only get out 1 hour a day and that they're all by themselves, and that's enough to drive you crazy. But they're also protected, right? They're on death row. They're all by themselves. I say give them life, throw them in Gen Pop, let the rest of the prisoners take care of them.
Well, look what happened to guys. Well, look what happens to guys like, what was his name? Richard Dahmer. Dahmer goes to prison. Inmates kill him,
Yeah.
These things happen. When you have people like that, if Chad Daybell in a regular Gen Pop in a prison.
Yeah. He wouldn't last. He wouldn't last long.
Oh, no.
No.
If he thinks he's died and come back, he doesn't know anything yet. If we got something for you, brother.
That's right.
If we got something for you. So, all right. So we're going to be watching that. And if there's anything extreme that happens, and Therese, you and I watch this, I'm going to be busy a lot. Oh, here's another. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he even made it to Gen Pop.
Guy.
But if something happens that is, and this is a very pivotal point, when the defense takes over, if they're really far behind, you might see a deal happen. If that does, I'm going to be busy a lot this weekend, but we'll find a way to break in and tell you guys what's going on. So we'll keep an eye on it. Even if we got to record something at midnight, we'll do it just so people can know what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just volunteering.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just volunteering me for midnight. Okay.
Well, it's like we're both in our own homes. I mean, we're like, all you got to do is throw a shirt on.
Well, I gotta say, chances are better for me to be able to do that at midnight than you.
That's true. That is true. Especially after this weekend coming up. DJing at 100 degrees, man.
Oh, yucky.
Yeah. There's going to be definitely some swamp butt going on here.
Lovely.
Now, let's switch over for a minute. Like I said, we're going to keep you apprised of what's going on with that. I want to introduce you to our new friends. Our new friends. This is Karen Reed, and she's from Massachusetts. And she is accused of second-degree. Let me make sure I get this right. Second-degree murder. She's accused of second-degree murder, also leaving the scene of an accident, leaving the scene of a critical incident. There's a couple of things that went on there, but second-degree murder for hitting her boyfriend of 2 years with a car. His name is John O'Keefe. He's a member of the Boston Police Department, and this happened back in January of 22. Now, essentially, here's the breakdown of what happened. There is nothing that has come up so far that talks about any problems that happened prior to this night. There's no talks about fights. There's no talks about any kind of issues between the two of them. There's nothing. Regular boyfriend, girlfriend get along very well. She stayed at his house part-time a little more often than not. He had his 3 kids at home. They were fine. Everything looked good. They went out to dinner. They had friends, and they did all of that stuff. But on this night, they went out drinking. They went to a bar, and then they went. And it's a snowy night in Boston. It's not in Boston. I'm sorry. It's in Canton, outside of Boston. Canton.
Okay.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
They go to this bar, and then they go across the street to this other bar, the Waterfall, and a bunch of their friends and neighbors were in this bar, and they're all similar neighborhood, and they got together and they started drinking, and it's after 11. It's around 11:30, getting towards 12 o'clock. And one of the neighbors, his name is Brian Albert, invited everybody back to his house because his son, Brian Jr., was turning 23 at midnight. And he says, everybody come on over, we'll have drinks at my house and celebrate for my son. So on a snowy night outside of Boston, they all went over to this Brian's house. Here's what happens now. Karen Reed and Reed and O'Keefe leave a little bit after everybody else, a few minutes behind them. Everybody else has gone into the house. They get there, and Karen says she dropped him off.
Yeah, she wasn't going to stay, right? She didn't.
Yeah, she was done. She was done for the night. She dropped him off. It was not far from the house. He can get a ride back or whatever. Not a big deal. She dropped him off. Did a 3-point turn on a narrow, snow everywhere. They said kind of a blizzard, but I looked at it. I'm from Syracuse. It wasn't a real blizzard. It was snow. It was some good snow. She did a 3-point turn in her big SUV and then drove home. And she says she saw him go in the house. That's her account. At 6 a.m., she goes out to find him because he's not home yet. So she drives back over to the house where she dropped him off. When she pulls up out front, she sees his body lying in the snowbank, swollen eyes, blood coming out of his nose, and she's trying to do CPR, and he's dead. That's what she knows. That's all she knows. Okay, the people in the house and the police make the determination that she hit him with the car. Brian Jr. said he saw her pull away, like pull down the street a little bit, saw the tire tracks on the road while she was pulling away, and he could see the tire tracks in the road, but he could not see the body laying on his yard. The son. Okay, so there's one thing. They say she hit her with the car and went home. They found the body. People came. The police came. The police immediately determined it was an automobile that she hit him with the car because that's what the people in the house said. Nobody saw it happen, but that's what they said. They never went inside the house. Never once. And she told the police he went in the home and they never looked at it. Why? Because the people in that house were members of the Boston PD and friends of the Boston PD and Boston State Troopers. And by the way, one of them was friends with the judge who is now overseeing this case.
Shocker.
So they actually take the body, they do all the stuff, they put them, they gather evidence in red Solo cups, like bloody snow in red Solo cups. Like, that's a really good job, guys. I'm sure you got something better to use. Now, here's the kicker. They move the body. Hours later, a police officer who is a friend of the guys in the house found a piece of her taillight right where the body was, and they never saw it the whole time they were working on the body or moved the body. He just happened to find his piece of taillight.
Oh, that's convenient.
Now, let's also go back to when she left her house at 6 a.m. to go find John O'Keefe. There's a camera in her driveway, and it shows her backing out and hitting her husband's car, or her boyfriend's car. Hit it with the right rear taillight. She hit the car and then pulled away. And as she pulled away, you could see where it looked like the tail was broken. The taillight was broken. Okay. When witnesses said they saw her drive away after hitting the guy, they said that the taillights were fine. Nobody saw the taillights broken. She broke the taillight. The officer went over to the house, saw it, picked it up, and planted it at the scene. Okay, what else do we have?
Well, allegedly.
John O'Keefe has a Fitbit that he wears.
You keep freezing.
And it shows what?
You keep freezing.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's me. I got everything. It might be you.
No, I think it's you. But okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You come back.
Yeah.
You go out and then you come back.
Okay. He's wearing one of those exercise things where you can tell your steps and your times and stuff. When she dropped him off, it shows him taking steps equivalent to going up 3 sets of stairs. That's exactly the staircases that were inside the house. He did go in the house. But everyone in that house says he didn't go in the house. Also, there's a woman, McLaughlin, who is a friend of all these people, Katie McLaughlin. They have her phone that night doing a Google search on how long it takes to die in the cold.
Oh.
People. He had bite marks and scratch marks on his arm. It's possible it was road rash, but how do you get road rash when you're wearing winter clothes?
Right.
But the people who own the house had a German Shepherd. And the dog could have made those marks. And the funny thing is after 7 or 8 years of owning that dog, right after all this happened, they got rid of the dog. They sent it out of state.
Yeah.
They also sold the house, so it can never be searched now. Because now it belongs to somebody else.
Well, they can search it. They could search it. They can get permission from the new owners.
Yeah, they could, but it's not, everything's tainted now. It's all tainted.
I know, it's probably, it's all tainted now. It's been cleaned. So is this a trial by jury, I do hope, and not just a bench trial?
Oh, no, this is a jury trial.
Oh, thank goodness.
And there is so much. There is the people across the street have a Ring doorbell that points at the street. They asked for that footage, but amazingly it disappeared. And they also happen to be part of the district attorney's office. This goes on. I mean, this is crazy. They have requested, the defense has requested video cams from a business that is on the road where she drove down so they can see if her taillights were still intact. That is not available to the defense for some god-awful reason. He can't get his hands on it. They won't get it to him. There's a lot going on here, and the judge was asked to recuse herself and because of her relationship with people who were in the house. She would not. She refused. There was one of the first responders who made damning statements about what Karen had said at the scene. One of her best friends was also in the house during this party. What the assumption is that he went into the house, was beat up, and somehow damaged badly. This guy, John O'Keefe, who owns the house, the father who owns the house, had a military background, was prolific in fighting and boxing. He was a tough guy. If he wanted to put a hurting on somebody, he could. 2 swollen eyes, blood coming out of the nose. That if that was an impact from a car, there would be blood on the car. There was no evidence found on the car. That sounds like getting beat up and then thrown in the snow. So this is just people. Therese gave me this. You gave this to me over the weekend, I think, this case.
Yeah.
You mentioned it to me, and I just picked it up, and I am all in. I am all in on this. For the first time in a very long time, I believe somebody's innocent. And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of the fact that she was drunk enough to not be positive about what happened. But she's positive about small pieces like him going in the house, her going home. And it's just too many just red flags. I encourage you, if you're really into the real, if you want to see conspiracy theory come alive, this is a good one right here.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's more, but I don't know if I can unwrap it all in this conversation. We only have about 10 minutes left. But again, she's accused of second degree murder. There's accusations about problems that just don't exist. What they don't have is any kind of reason why this would have happened. There's no reason why she would have hurt him with the car, and there's no reason why the people in the house would have hurt him, at least not yet. We don't know.
Do you think it could have just been like some kind of fight broke out and they like threw him out and didn't realize he was hurt as bad as he was? It's
possible, but then there's a major cover-up.
Major cover-up, yeah.
they had to somehow all concoct this story about he got hit by this car.
Well, yeah, of course.
You
Well,
know?
they want to blame it on the girlfriend, of course.
Yeah, Sandy Mom's was her bad blood among those friends. There, other than normal, regular friends fighting about dumb shit, I don't see anything here where there was anything. At least I haven't. I just dug into this case. There's nothing that really points anything out. Like, this is the kind of thing, like if he's messing around with somebody else's wife, or he took money from somebody, or something like that, or I don't know. Maybe he was, maybe he was going to turn over on some dirty cops. I don't know. There could be a million different reasons. Nobody said anything yet, though.
Because they're not going to, right? Because they're all protecting each other.
Right.
Right. So they're not going to say if there was, like, okay, so say that maybe he was suspected of being a narc. They're not going to say that. Because then that's going to make them look bad.
The Reed's defense attorney apparently suggested that there was tension between a few of the people, but that doesn't go into any real detail. So I'm going to dig in further and see what that's all about. This case is an active case. You can go to Court TV. You can go to YouTube and look up. If you're looking up Karen Reed, it is not R-E-E-D like I did for 12 times in a row. It's R-E-A-D. So her real name is Karen Red. Okay. Rose is asking, hey, Rose, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Rose.
Do you think the car really hit him? And due to the weather, she didn't realize. Now, Rose, that's an excellent point. Thanks for bringing that up. It is possible that the car could have hit him. It is possible she was drunk enough to do that. The car did not roll over him. So it would have had to been the impact that killed him. You know, usually if you get hit by a car, the car goes over the person and that's what kills them. But this, or you're going really fast and you hit them so hard that you explode them. You know, but they don't really.
Not
explode.
To be graphic, but okay.
Yeah, not to be graphic. But what the problem is this: she hit him apparently because of where he was, and he would have got hit by the back of the car. Which, by the way, if he was near the snowbank when she hit him and she was backing up, the left taillight would have been broken, not the right taillight. The right taillight would have meant he was in the middle of the road, and it would not have thrown him into the snowbank. It would have thrown him towards the middle of the road. So that's a problem there. The wrong taillight's busted. The thing is, because she was doing a 3-point turn on a snowy road, even with an SUV that has traction, you don't gain enough speed to do the kind of damage that was done. You know, not to blacken both eyes, bloody the face, break the nose, blood coming out, and then internal injuries from it doesn't happen. I've been hit by a car, you know, and, you know, not entirely by mistake either. But it takes a lot. A car's got to be moving at a significant speed to hurt somebody that badly. Significant being even 20 miles an hour or something. This would have been like a 3 mile an hour or 2 mile an hour backup in a snowy street. So, Rose, I get the point, and it's possible that she was drunk and didn't realize she did it. But the numbers don't add up. The metrics aren't there for that actually causing his death. Okay.
And that is unfortunate for her that they were out drinking and they can say that she was drunk, and that puts doubt in, you know, everybody's mind and even her own, really.
Well, Sandy Mom has a good point. Was it a Fight Club scenario in the house? Well, we haven't heard from Brad Pitt yet, so I don't know.
He's not talking.
Yeah, he's not talking. Yeah, because you know what? First rule of Fight Club.
That's right.
So this case, with our last, what we got? Just about 6-7 minutes here. This case is going to be one that's going to be going on for a little bit of time. Again, the problem with this, Therese, you just made a great point. Everybody was drunk. So nobody's completely reliable on anything. They'd all been out drinking all night and then went back to the house to drink. People were going in and out of that house, and nobody saw him lying there on the lawn. Nobody saw him.
Right. That's one thing, because how many people stayed at that house? There had to have been people that left that house, right?
That's correct. And nobody saw
And
him
nobody noticed that he was there. Well, I mean, nobody said they saw him there.
Exactly. And it's just, the case doesn't hold water for me. It just doesn't. There's too much reasonable doubt. There's too many intangibles. It just doesn't make any sense. This isn't somebody, normally when you got a woman who's going to hit her boyfriend, she'll hit him like head on. So she makes sure. And then thud, go over him. Then she'll back up once to see if he's okay. Thud. And then she'll realize he's dead and take off and thud, hit him again. So that's 3 times getting run over right there.
Did they try and move this trial? Did they put a motion in to move the trial out of there?
What? I don't know. I'm going to have to look at that because it's really sounding a whole lot like, I hate to use the word like it's like a conspiracy, but there's all sorts of problems. There has been some text uncovered about some romantic entanglements, possibly between O'Keefe and some of the people in this house party. Like maybe he crossed the line. I just saw that in some of the notes from one of the days of testimony. But I'll have to go back and see. It doesn't say anything right off the bat if they tried to change venues. But you would think they would want to right away, wouldn't you?
You would think, yeah. I mean, if especially if they are fearing a cover-up, that's the first thing I would ask for. I mean, if the judge refused to recuse herself, I would try to bring it to the higher court to get that done, Because how can you trust any of it, really?
I have a feeling, and this is just me throwing it out there with my ESPN here. I have a feeling this case is going to be dismissed, and she will not be convicted. But I do not believe they're going to find out what really happened. I think she's going to get off because of the shoddy police work, because of the mishandling of evidence, because they never went inside the home when there was a claim that he went in there, and they never even went inside the home. It was 30 steps from where they were. They could have gone inside and looked. And it would be very hard to hide that kind of, if there was any brutality. I mean, it's impossible they could have found out. The dog has not been produced for DNA evidence. There's enough shoddy police work here where I think this is going to get tossed. But I'd really like them to, instead of just tossing it, I'd really like them to figure out who the hell did it.
Right. Let's just hope the jury is not afraid to go against the police department, right?
Yeah, wow, you make a good point there, Teresa. If they are in the district, that could be a problem. I don't know.
That could be a problem.
Now they say Boston police, but yeah, I guess this is a suburb of Boston, so to speak, or the Boston police have a lot to do with this town. So, yeah, this is not a comfortable situation. But I think the police would be fine if they dismissed it on technicalities, as long as they don't point the fingers at the people in the house. And I'm not sure. It's so far. There was all I've got is several people in the house. I don't know exactly how many people were in the house at the time that this might have happened, but we don't know what time it might have happened either, though.
Right.
Because if she didn't hit him with the car,
sometime between midnight and 6 a.m., right?
Yeah.
That's what we're hearing.
I think with more study of the film of her backing out at 6 a.m. of her driveway and breaking her taillight, and then that taillight piece arriving at the scene after the body's been moved and after everything's done, then they re-look at the scene and say, oh, we missed it. By the way, the piece of taillight was about the size of this phone. It's red. You don't miss that. So
maybe the phone melted.
Yeah, that's possible. But if they could really look at the evidence and realize that she broke it then it would be good. Did I freeze on you or did you freeze on me? I think you're frozen on me. Okay.
I think you. I think it's you, sir.
I don't think so.
You'll have to watch the video because you keep going.
How can I freeze? It's 100 degrees here. How can I freeze?
Well, it's not cold here either. Not hot, but it's not cold.
All right, so that pretty much takes us up to date on what's going on. Once again, these two are biggies right now. If you guys got a suggestion of a crime or something out there that you'd like us to look at, we would love to do it, and we'd love to have you join us and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, so Michelle, don't know if you made it through the whole show, but if you did, thanks for joining us.
Right.
Thanks to Rose and Sandy and Nicole, and of course Michelle and everyone else out there. Thanks for joining us and spending a little time with us as we talk about these crazy crimes. You know, YouTube is a great way to get caught up on what's going on in the courts. A lot of times you can wait till the end of the day or the next day and get a recap of what happens. You don't have to sit there and listen to 7.5 hours of testimony, which, by the way, even interesting testimony gets boring after the first 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
How do the juries stay awake, man?
I don't know, but I'd love to find out someday.
You really want to be on a jury, don't you?
I really do.
See, now they're going to discount you.
Why?
You'd be sitting there saying, "Pick me, pick me! I want a murder trial, please."
I play it cool.
Okay, yeah, I got this. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I'm all good.
Oh boy. Anyway, so we have come to the end of another show. Our normal time will be back in 2 weeks, but if something happens in either one of these cases, we will do a pop-up and let you guys know. And again, please leave your comments. Make sure you share the show with your friends and like it and do all those other things that people do with shows. And, let us know that we're doing a good job. Leave the comments. We're going to read them, okay? Any final messages, Therese?
No, be safe out there. Crazy world.
It is a crazy world. Don't go drinking in Boston with police officers. That's one thing I'll tell you right now.
Don't join a cult.
Don't join a cult. Okay. All is good with LDS. We're not against you. Not you.
Right.
Not you. You just got a few people that are a little screw loose, okay? But with that, I just want to wish everybody, you guys have a great upcoming weekend. Make sure everybody takes care of each other. Be nice to each other. And just have a great day. We'll catch you next time right here on the Exes Podcast. Bye-bye now, everybody.